you know, he knew what to do. He took the young lad under his wing, he took him up, and he just showed him the ropes. This kid had the time of his life. Just with the dollar bills, the whole nine. The entire night was fantastic. We drank until we couldn't drink anymore. Towards the end of the night, we all get out to our bikes. I'd sobered up just enough, as many of you know I will. And
tell that to the CLI freezer.
Touche. Still. Tony gets his helmet on, he starts his bike, swings the leg over, kicks kickstand up, goes, nope, puts the kickstand back down, takes his helmet off, and goes, burger! 4 of us drunk had to put Tony's bike into the back of Parker's truck, ghetto rigged as hell, tied it down, and Parker drove him home. That was an epic night last summer.
Hey, you forgot a part of the story.
Get up here.
Let me guess.
Oh! I did.
We met up. Wait, at Hooters
in Sterling Heights.
Yes. Okay, we're going down. We get down on 75. We're going around the corner. Next thing you know, we lose Tony.
Gone.
We pull over. Where are they at? So his old roommate pulls up on the bike. He's like, oh, Tony ran out of gas. I'm going to get him gas. He never came back.
Dude got lost. Now we're on 75 right by Rosa Parks. Everybody knows what that is. It's a pretty straightforward area.
Yeah.
How do you get lost? It's exit ramps.
So
dude left, gone.
You went home.
He just went home.
So Tony's like, I'll figure it out, So we left. Tony ends up getting us gas. He sits there. That's what you do. Kill the ride. Once again.
So most of us know that Tony couldn't get anywhere by himself.
No.
Tony couldn't find his way from his house to the gas station without calling somebody and asking.
And with a great show of hands here, by show of hands, how many couches has Tony slept on?
Woo! Right here, baby.
How many times have all of you invited Tony somewhere? Gabe sent him the address, and he still calls and asks you directions. How many of you guys have called Tony right? Tony has been to my house. Tony's been to my house 30 times, and he calls me for directions from the corner.
Tony's house from mine is a straight shot down 8 Mile with 1 turn.
Right. I would go to Tony's house, and I'd ask him where he lived. I said, Tony, how do I get to your house from here? You know, where I'm at. I don't know. I said, wait a second. How do you not know how to get... Wait, how... You drive by? He goes, I don't know. Okay, fine. So I said, Tony, I'm at McDonald's. Oh, I know where you're at. You're at a McDonald's. It's just down the road. Don't worry about it. Tony didn't know a single road. I don't think he knew the name of any road besides 75 and 696. But he knew where the McDonald's was, and the rock, and the big tree with the dent in it. And he knew, Tony also knew, Tony knew where he dumped his bikes too. Tony knew that if I drive down the road a little bit and I dump my bike right there, I gotta turn left. Because Tony would dump his bike doing a mile an hour.
That's how we always did it.
You know, I don't think Tony ever crashed. Tony just dropped it somehow. And I can't figure out how, because Tony would pull into my driveway and there's a little bump at the end, and you know, I mean, he would pull in and his bike would fall over. And I'm thinking, this is the guy going down 75 doing 100 miles an hour and can't pull into my driveway. So he calls me one day and he says, hey, I got a problem. Brad calls me on the other line and I'm like, what the heck? So I answer it and I'm like, what is going on, dude? Tony broke his bike. How the hell did Tony break his bike? Guess what? He dumped it out on by the church.
Yeah,
I don't
right
even know
by my old house.
He dumped it by the church. Tony was making a left-hand turn and his bike fell over.
Now let's keep in mind that was the second time in the course of 10 minutes that it had hit the ground.
Right. So he drops his bike on the right side, making a left-hand turn. Now, most of you guys, I know some of you guys ride, but to drop your bike on the right side, making a left,
It's hard to do.
isn't easy. I mean, some of us have tried and you can't replicate the incident. But anyhow, so Tony drops his bike on the right side, making a left. Calls me up and says, I need you to fix my bike, I can't shift. I'm at my house, I don't know what's going on, I live 1.5 miles or 2 miles from Brad. So I say, all right, bring your bike over and I'll fix it for you. So Tony, I go over to the house, Brad's house, and I look at it, and I say, well, ride it over to the house and I'll fix your bike, Tony. So Tony goes, I can't shift. I can't shift my bike, it's broken. It's not broken, Tony, I'll fix it, So he gets on his bike and he starts it up, and we live 2 miles apart, and he doesn't shift out of first gear the whole way. The first whole way to my house. $5 grand, 10 grand, Pulls into the driveway, parks in the garage, and he says, can you fix it? I said, we can try, Tony. So I step back and I look at his bike. I step to the other side and I look at his bike and I say, you dropped this on the right side, right? And he says, yeah, why? Shifter's on the left, Tony. What do you mean shifter's on the left? Well, the shifter's on the left, the brake's on the right. You mean you couldn't stop? No, I couldn't shift. No, you couldn't stop. I told you I couldn't shift, and I'm telling you, you can't stop. And so, I look at his bike, and I get on it, and I take it for a ride, all the way back, and I don't stop. Come right into the garage, front brake. I said, you know what, I can fix your rear brake, but we don't really need to because you can go. Now, well, Tony says, really? No, not really, Tony. I was just joking with you, man. He says, so I can leave. Sure, you can leave. You want me to fix your brake? Well, why not? So I drill a hole and I put a bolt in it and everything like that, and I rebelize it. I don't know how to put that, So I make it so he can brake or whatever, Tony goes pull out of my driveway. Guess what? Drops his bike.
On the other side of this story, which is one that Rebel will